It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be breathtakingly, indescribably beautiful. And you are going to experience this. I'm going to experience this. We're going to experience this together. We are going to unlock the full spectrum of abilities that we have lying in our DNA, dormant, waiting. These light codes that are blasting the planet at the moment. I don't know whether you've looked up into the sky at night time and even in the day. You can see the lights and the codes that are pouring through, bleeding through into this local planetary environment from the central sun, from other celestial beings. They're upgrading our consciousness 24 hours a day, 365, baby. We are becoming superhuman. And we are going to live in a 5D world where there is no greed, where there is no hatred, where there is no judgment, where there is no jealousy, where there is no anger, where there is no guilt. This is the beginning of full remembering. I've said in many videos, and I say in all of my trainings and workshops, that I'm no teacher, I'm no guru. I've got nothing to teach you. No one has got anything to teach you. There are no teachings. But there are rememberings. And what people can do is trigger the remembering within you so that you can bring to the surface what you've known all along, since the dawn of time. When you lived and played on other planets, in other solar systems, in other galaxies, in other universes. This is the time of divine consciousness, divine sovereignty. This is the unfolding and unleashing of our superhuman selves. I love you with my heart, with my soul, with every fiber of my entire being. How are you feeling right now, beautiful soul? Before we go into the message of this video, I want you just to close your eyes just for a moment and breathe with me. I want you to close your eyes and breathe in through your nose, all the way down to the pit of your stomach and out through your mouth. And as you breathe, I want you to consciously open your heart and connect with me in this space. Brother to brother, sister to brother, light to light, soul to soul. Energy to energy. Frequency to frequency. Just breathe with me for a moment in this space. Open your heart and connect. It's divine love. The frequency on this planet is elevating rapidly. Things are shifting and changing. Monumental proportions. It's beautiful. So I have some messages that I want to share with you today. And I want you just to be in your heart and feel them. Don't think about them, just feel them. Absorb them into your heart and let your heart decide whether this is true or not. So this is a message of positivity. This is a message of reassurance. What is happening and unfolding right now on planet Earth is a beautiful thing. And whilst it may seem to some people that it's not a beautiful thing, that things are falling apart and it's kind of destructive, it is actually a part of a beautiful process that is unfolding. There are a number of reasons that I wanted to share some of the information in this video, and it's really to put people's minds at rest. A friend of mine sent me a document a couple of days ago, and it was a new bill that the UK government had passed called the COVID-19 bill, the coronavirus bill. And in it there were some crazy things. It said that they had these powers, many different powers that the government had that they could give to the police and all this sort of stuff. And one of them was to create vaccinations, another was to enforce vaccinations, another was that if you died, they could just take your body, burn it, no questions, and dispose of it. There was no funeral, you had no right to go to the funeral, all of this sort of stuff. Now, that may look from one perspective that it's quite bad and it's quite satanic and sadistic and evil. The reason they've done this is because there are a number of people around the planet right now that aren't very nice, that we could call evil, that are being arrested for crimes against humanity. And this gives them the rights to do what they need to do to dispose of their bodies, or to maybe give them some kind of injection. There are lots of stories flying around this planet at the moment to do with mass arrests, to do with government officials, bankers, people in Hollywood drinking something called adrenochrome, which is a drug found in blood of predominantly children. This blood, when you drink it, because it's full of adrenaline, DMT, it gives you a high. And certain people drink this stuff. And you'll see a lot of people coming down with the coronavirus at the moment that are in Hollywood, that are well known. And actually, these people are on house arrest. And the coronavirus is a cover. They have a choice, and that choice is you can come out into the public eye and you can tell people what you've really done, and you can have your reputation ruined, or we can say you've got the coronavirus and maybe you just pass back to spirit silently. Now, I'm not saying that the coronavirus doesn't exist, because it does. And you've got to know that the world is always running parallels. As well as the world being inverted, it's running parallels. If someone tells you to look somewhere, maybe you shouldn't. If they tell you not to look there, maybe you should. This coronavirus was created to destroy human beings, or a large percentage of the population. But the plan didn't go accordingly. And the parallel is that it's being used, whilst it is actually killing some humans, to fulfill another mission. And that is to bring down certain powers that have been in control for a long time. Everything is inverted, and things quite often run in parallels. You might see something happening, and it can be happening for two different reasons. Some people can see both sides of the coin. Some people only see one perspective, and some people don't see any perspective at all. It's just the way it is. Your heart carries the answers. Many things are changing on this planet right now. We as a human species are becoming sovereign and free. This planet has been controlled for a long time. And we haven't been free sovereign beings. We've been enslaved into a system. When we're born, we are given a birth certificate. And that birth certificate has a name on it. Mine was actually Mr. Daniel Loveridge. But then I was adopted and it became Mr. Jerry Sargent, actually Jeremy Sargent. But when you become a Mr., you become a mystery. You become a ghost. Your birth certificate is actually property, in my case, of the United Kingdom Corporation. If you live in America, it's property of the United States Corporation, or the Corporation of the United States of America. And in different country, different corporations. Our birth certificate is traded on the New York Stock Exchange. It's sold as a future for a lot of money, millions, in future taxes and all this sort of stuff. I have experience with this. I'll tell you a little story. Back in 2013, my family and I, we moved from New Zealand back to the UK. I had this strong burning desire to come back, and the reason it was is because eventually it led me on this star magic journey where we started the healing business. And when I came back to the UK, I made an appointment at the passport office in Newport in Wales to get passports for my children and I. When I went to the passport office, I got arrested by the Metropolitan Police. I was arrested for conspiracy to defraud the Bank of Scotland and holding a false passport. So it took me on this journey. And I went to see a friend of mine, and he introduced me to a gentleman from South Africa by the name of David. And if David, you're watching this video, I love you, brother, because you saved my life. David practiced law. He went through law school, all this sort of stuff, and then he pulled away from it because he saw how much corruption there was in the legal system. And this guy ended up becoming a drug smuggler. And he ended up getting caught with a large quantity of cocaine. And because he knew what he knew about law, he'd been through law school, he'd been through the legal system, and he knew how to be a sovereign, free human being in court, and not to go into court as your birth certificate, as the Mr., as the mystery, as the ghost, as the property of the United Kingdom Corporation. He went in as a free sovereign being. And he held on to the Bible when he was in the dock, because they ask you to swear on the Bible, then they take it away. But he held on to it. And he used the Bible to get off of this court case. He was looking at 15 years in prison. And he walked away scot-free. And he was telling me this story. And this is what kind of woke me up and started me seeing the truth in what is happening behind the scenes with debt, with the banking system, with birth certificates, with us being used and as a commodity, I suppose. Really, we are a commodity to these lovely people that have been controlling our planet up until now, and still do a little bit, but won't be for very much longer. So anyway, David explained to me that when banks lend money, they get the payments back from the client. It could be a £200,000 mortgage, and over 30 years they might get £400,000 back in payments. The original loan plus another 100%, for example, on top. He also explained to me that what the banks do is they sell these mortgages and they get their money back straight away because they're traded on the New York Stock Exchange. So through some contacts that I had and David had, we were able to hack into a law firm that worked for the Royal Bank of Scotland and we were able to extract a document. And this document had 63,000 properties or property mortgages within it. It was all of the properties that the Royal Bank of Scotland had loaned money in 2007 for to all of their clients. And it totaled billions. And this contract was a contract between the Royal Bank of Scotland and a company called Aaron Property Group, which apparently are a Jewish company based in America. And what the Royal Bank of Scotland had done is sold these mortgages to Aaron Property Group. Aaron Property Group had then traded these mortgages on the New York Stock Exchange. The Royal Bank of Scotland had got their money back straight away. That meant that nobody actually owed any money to them anymore. All of these 63,000 mortgage holders didn't actually owe any money. So what it proved was that the Royal Bank of Scotland were committing a crime. They were committing fraud. Now, this document was emailed to me, and in that document were a number of properties that were involved in my conspiracy to defraud the Bank of Scotland case, the reason I got arrested. as well as holding the false passport. So I had this document on my laptop. The next morning I wake up, I go into my emails and the document's gone. I've got it. I've got another copy of it now, and I've still got it. I've printed it off. But at the time, it had gone. And I thought, that's a bit crazy. How can it have just disappeared? Anyway, that morning, I went to the gym. When I came out of the gym, I was driving home, and an unmarked BMW Silver X5 pulled me over with flashing lights, and armed police dragged me out of the car. And they told me that I had a bald tyre. Can you believe it? Armed police pulling me over for a bald tyre? It's a load of bollocks. But what they were doing is trying to intimidate me because of this document. The same day they went to my mum and dad's house. My dad at the time had cancer, and they were rude to them, all this sort of stuff. And they were just trying to put pressure on me to kind of drop this kind of sense that I'd picked up. Anyway, I didn't, so I decided to represent myself in court, go down this free-man road, all of this sort of stuff. And to cut a long story short, what happened is I ended up going to court. I was looking at 10 years in prison, and I went into court, and when the judges came out, one of the judges, a female judge, she was sat on my left and on the right-hand side of the three panel of judges. And she winked at me. I was like, what? And she had wings on her back. I could see the wings on her back. So anyway, the prosecution gave their side of the story. They made me look really bad. They brought up, things from even when I was 14, 15 years old, getting caught with hash and weed and things that I'd done when I was a kid. And they built this whole story to make me this really evil, bad person. I gave my side of the story. The judges went away, they deliberated, they came back 30 minutes later. The lady winked at me again with the wings. She was like a real life angel, smiled. They sat down, they said, we can see that you're a changed man. We're going to give you an £80 court cost and a 1-year conditional discharge. And the police were fuming. I mean, she came up to me afterwards and said, you're a lucky man, Mr. Sergeant. You should have been going down today. I mean, they were hell-bent on putting me away, but because of the way that I handled the situation, that I was a free man, a sovereign being, there's nothing they could really do. Now, I'm sharing this with you because it explains the fact that we have these birth certificates, and when we detach from them, we become free. It's only when we're attached to our birth certificate as a Mr. or a Mrs. or a Master or a Miss that we can be prosecuted or things can happen to us. They can put debts against our name when we have a birth certificate. When we're free and sovereign, no debts can be put into our names. So what's actually happening on planet Earth right now is this whole financial model that is happening, or we've been enslaved to for a long period of time, is crumbling, and a new quantum financial system is being put in place. It's a fifth density 5D quantum banking system that has been given to us by our galactic star sisters and star brothers. And this has been modeling our banking system for some time, and it's going to be coming online soon. And a lot of the corruption, or all of the corruption, is going to disappear. There are stories flying around, and I've also been told myself that many debts will be wiped. Many loans will just disappear. Mortgages, loans, credit cards, which are a payment to the old system through the birth certificate. So all of this stuff is going to be crushed and wiped, and we're going to kind of have a clean slate. And a gold-backed system is going to come back into place. I don't know exactly how that's going to work. Okay, I'm not any kind of financial genius or wizard. I don't really know and understand this kind of stuff, but I know that it's going to be implemented. And we as a human species are going to be free once again. Income tax is going to disappear. There's still going to be some taxes on companies to help fund the government in a balanced fashion so that we're not giving away 40% of our money like we do in the UK. It will be a balanced amount of money, which is probably fair under the circumstances. We're not going to be raped and pillaged anymore. UBI is coming in, universal basic income. Every human being on this planet is going to be working and thriving, creating and thriving, and not working just to get by in life so that they can get to 65 years old, get some kind of shitty pension and survive their last 15, 20 years living in poverty. That shit's going out the window, baby. Things are changing. We are going to be looked after. We are going to be roaming these lands of our green and blue ball as sovereign free beings that are in abundance, because there is an abundance of resources on this planet to feed every man, woman and child many times over every single day. All of this overpopulation and climate change and all of this sort of stuff is complete and utter bullshit. It's just a part of the machine that tries to put us into fear. We're not all going to be vaccinated. They want to. And everything that happens in this world is kind of parallel. And it's like we're walking a tightrope, because they've passed this bill where vaccines can be given to us, but they can also be given to the negative people that are influencing and running this planet. So we're walking on this tightrope. It could go either way. But the timeline that I'm running is the positive one. And you can choose that timeline too. We all can. And the more of us that focus on this timeline of everything being peaceful, of everything being unified, of us being in a debt-free system that is a flexible system, that isn't a system that's based on slavery and manipulation and corruption. It's a system that benefits the totality of every single human being on this planet. Because we came here to be free, sovereign beings. And over the last few years, we've done so much incredible work as a species, raising consciousness on this planet. Our ET sisters and brothers, they're coming in to work with us and help us. They're working with positive officials within the government to help make these mass arrests. The coronavirus is a cover-up for this. Our galactic family are working with people on the ground in our human species to help put a stop to the suffering and the pain that human beings have been experiencing for many, many years as a species. I know that there are lots of people that thrive on this planet, but everybody should thrive. We've been mind-fucked and mind-manipulated. Over these last days and week, maybe 2 weeks, when I've been walking around, you can feel the vibration in the atmosphere is different. It's as though the frequency fences that were monitoring our frequencies and keeping us dumbed down, a lot of the mind control devices that were sending waves out through the atmosphere have been switched off, because people are generally happier. I know there are still people in fear, but generally people are happier. The vibration in the atmosphere is different. Things are changing, beautiful soul. We are being liberated. This is a time now for you to really come into your hearts, to open it, to consciously open it and say to yourself, I am sovereign, I am free, I am divinely powerful. I came to this planet with innate gifts to share with my fellow sisters and brothers. I have creativity in every cell of my body, oozing and bursting to come through the seams and express itself through this human vehicle. through this vessel that we call a body. It's a magical time to be on earth, and we are so blessed to witness and go through this experience. And whatever you're reading about, listening to, experiencing right now, I want you to know that this is just a transitionary phase, and things are going to be amazing afterwards. You don't have to worry. Now is a time to kick back. Whilst you're still in your home, start painting, dancing, being creative. Connect with your kids, connect with your partners, with your parents, whoever you live with. Shout across the balcony to the next neighbour and engage in a conversation and get to know them. Start reading, writing, creating whatever way you feel like creating. Maybe start doing some yoga or some qigong inside. Do some exercise. You don't need a gym, you've got a body. Use the weight of your body. Go onto YouTube, Google body weight exercises. You could meditate. We've got hundreds of meditations on our website, starmagichealing.com. Light language transmissions, loads of tools for you to engage in. There are loads of people with tools for you to engage in. Things that will help you raise your vibration on this planet whilst you're at home. Don't use this time to sit in fear. Use it to expand. Debts are being wiped. The financial system's changing. The powers that have been in control are being taken down. It's happening right now. Some people that you have looked up to for many years are involved in all of this stuff. I was quite shocked myself when I read a few of the names in a document that I was presented with the other day. I was like, wow, I respected that dude so much. And now I know he's drinking children's blood. Some crazy stuff, man. But quite often, in a corrupt society, there is a price to pay for fame. There is a price to pay for notoriety. Things are changing, baby. The world is changing. Mother Earth is reclaiming her sovereignty. We as human beings are reclaiming our sovereignty. Our galactic allies, they love us beyond measure, and they're working with us behind the scenes constantly. Some of them are here on Earth. Some of them are within the ground. Some of them are within our human population, disguised as humans. When your third eyesight is open, you can see very clearly. Microchips that these crazy, corrupt people want to put into our bodies so that we can access our bank accounts and access our car and start the car engine and access our homes and access everything. None of this shit's going to happen. I know that some people have microchips in them already in certain countries, but on a grand scale, it's not going to happen. We're sovereign, baby. And when we open our hearts and be on that frequency of unconditional love, as fit, healthy, divine, intelligent, sovereign beings with a balanced emotional state and an expanded consciousness, we are such a force of nature. And when we come together as a global family, nothing can stop this wave, this magical wave of unconditional love rippling and soaring through the planetary system, waking us all up, filling us full of joy, peace and divinity. The hardship is over, baby. We are going to reap the benefits of this magical home, this planet that we live on, in this galaxy, in this universe. Enjoy this process. Don't be scared. There's nothing to be fearful of. Enjoy this process. Observe yourself being in this process. We're lucky. We're blessed. Truly, truly blessed to be on earth at this time. This is the beginning of conscious choice. This is the beginning of us being 5D superhuman beings. It's why I'm writing my new book at the moment, Be Superhuman. Living in the fifth dimension or fifth density. We are going to unlock the full spectrum of abilities that we have lying in our DNA, dormant, waiting. These light codes that are blasting the planet at the moment. I don't know whether you've looked up into the sky at night time and even in the day. You can see the lights and the codes that are pouring through, bleeding through into this local planetary environment, from the central sun, from other celestial beings. They're upgrading our consciousness 24 hours a day, 365, baby. We are becoming superhuman. And we are going to live in a 5D world where there is no greed, where there is no hatred, where there is no judgment, where there is no jealousy, where there is no anger, where there is no guilt. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be breathtakingly, indescribably beautiful. And you are going to experience this. I'm going to experience this. We're going to experience this together. This magical thing called the internet has connected so many of us that may have never connected in the physical world. But now we're all connected. We're all sharing this information and we all know the truth. And once you know the truth and you step over that line, you can't go back. Forwards or inwards, into our cosmic heart where all the answers lie. Life is beautiful. You are beautiful. Life is magical. This is the beginning of full remembering. I've said in many videos, and I say in all of my trainings and workshops, that I'm no teacher, I'm no guru. I've got nothing to teach you. No one has got anything to teach you. There are no teachings. But there are rememberings. And what people can do is trigger the remembering within you so that you can bring to the surface what you've known all along, since the dawn of time. When you lived and played on other planets, in other solar systems, in other galaxies, in other universes. This is the time of divine consciousness, divine sovereignty. This is the unfolding and unleashing of our superhuman selves. Religion, color, class, creed, race, rich and poor. All of this stuff is just going to dissolve and crumble. There's going to be no more war. There's nothing to fight about anyway. When you travel this world as extensively as I do, you realize everywhere you go, everybody loves each other. Nobody hates each other. It's only through the media that they portray this. And if you actually look at the media right now, things are changing slightly. It's becoming a little bit more positive. I know this coronavirus is all over it, and that is putting fear into a lot of people. But at the same time, there are some really positive things being shared about certain leaders of the world. For example, President Trump. He was being slated and destroyed in the media for a long time because the corrupt men and women or beings were making that happen. But now, with their demise and their downfall, the media is going to start to portray real news, good stuff, because it is all good. No one's going to need to kill anybody anymore. No one's going to need to hate anybody or steal from anybody, because we're going to live on an abundant planet where everybody is rising together. So beautiful. What do you think of this? Go into your heart and feel this information. Don't just believe it because I'm sharing it with you. Go in here and ask yourself, is this my truth? Is this the truth? And see what your heart tells you. Because here lie all the answers to all of the questions. Here lie all of the answers to all of the things that you've ever wondered about yourself and the planet, about your existence, about the future, about this planet and our galaxy at large. There are many, many species living out there on billions of planets. And we'll connect with them soon. Are you ready for that? I certainly am. I can't wait. Feel the energy, baby. Feel it. Just take a moment to close your eyes and breathe. The energy is incredible. Right now is a time for restoration. Right now is a time for rejuvenation. Right now is a time for creativity. So enjoy this process as it unfolds. I love you with my heart, with my soul, with every fiber of my entire being, as a divine sovereign being to another divine sovereign being, as a galactic being here in this physical body to another galactic being here in this physical body. Stay safe, be pure, be divine. Enjoy the process. Hug tightly. Never be the first to let go. Love fiercely and ferociously. Let's ride this wave together and come out of the other side covered in diamond light. If you're watching this video on YouTube, please subscribe and share. On Facebook, like it and share it. On Instagram, share it with your sisters and brothers, your friends, your family, your loved ones. Together we really can make this world a much more harmonious place. Teamwork, tribe work is the key. Remember to check out our website, starmagichealing.com. We've got some incredible Ascension tools that will help you through this process and expand on your own personal and collective journey. You're an amazing being, so powerful, so strong, so wise. Know this in your heart. Know it. Know it. Don't believe it. Know it. I'll see you again real soon, beautiful soul. One love, one heart, one human family. Peace out.